नमस्कार, मैं हूं रूप सिंह गुसाई और आप देख रहे हैं एएनसी इंडिया खबरों में खबर आपकी खबर। जी हाँ, इस वक्त मैं मौजूद हूं भारत मंडपम में और यहां पर छठा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सोलर अलायंस का जो है मीटिंग हो रही है, एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है और उसमें जो भारत के जो बढ़ते कदम है सोलर ऊर्जा की ओर, उसके लिए यहाँ पर जो ये मीटिंग का आयोजन किया गया है, प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस का आयोजन किया गया है। इसमें 116 देश जो है इस आयोजन में भाग ले रहे हैं और आइए आपको लेकर के चलता हूँ अंदर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में। वहाँ क्या बात होने वाली है, क्या वो लोगों को, इस दुनिया को बताने वाले हैं, क्योंकि सोलर ऊर्जा एक ऐसा सोर्स है जो कि कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाला है। ये सभी लोग, ये सारे दुनिया के लोग मान चुके हैं, क्योंकि जल की कमी होने के कारण जो है बिजली की कमी हो सकती है, क्योंकि आधुनिकीकरण है, मशीनों का युग है और हर जगह बिजली की आवश्यकता होती है। तो ऐसा सोर्स ढूंढा जा रहा है जो कभी खत्म ना हो और वो एकमात्र सोर्स है सूर्य देव का, जी हाँ, सोलर ऊर्जा का। तो आइए इस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में क्या वो कह रहे हैं, दुनिया को क्या बताना चाह रहे हैं, वो आपको बताने की कोशिश करता हूँ।
आपको मेरा में छोड़ा है, बस मैंने निकाला ना, बस में छोड़ा है, बस में बैठ जाएंगे। हाँ, नहीं बैठे थे इसमें, ठीक है ना, फिर जो ये वीडियो में बस में बैठे मेरा काम चल रहा है, लेडीज स्टैंड होना चाहिए। ये कितने रिंग्स है, ठीक है ना, वो तो यहाँ से कॉल हो जाएगा अपनी स्पीड सामने से जो चल रहा है वो इजी यहाँ भी। लेकिन ये बोलो मत क्या से कर लेना, सामने से कर लेना, स्पीड जब बोलेंगे वहाँ पे बोलेंगे। अभी क्या करना, बोल दो साउंड।
Welcome to the press conference of the 6th Assembly of ISA. I would now like to invite our Director General, Dr. Ajay Mathur, to deliver the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Nikam. President, Co-President, Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, it's such a pleasure to welcome all of you here. We are gathered here on the occasion of the 6th Assembly of the International Solar Alliance. The International Solar Alliance is a multilateral treaty-based organization which today has 116 member countries. Over the next few months, before the end of the year, we expect 4 more countries to join, which will take us to 120. And this tells you of the progression of the ISA membership. Together with the progression of the membership, the key issue is the alliance is about making solar as the energy source of choice in various countries. And being the energy source of choice means obviously that you have to advocate for it. And therefore we produce a large number of reports on the progress in energy technologies, in energy markets, in energy investments every year. We focus on the ease of doing solar for different countries so that investors know how easy it is. We also, to enable people to have confidence to invest in markets where money is not going right now, we have created last year the Global Solar Facility with an insurance fund and a payment guarantee mechanism so that investors feel comfortable. The solar industry as a whole has pulled in record amounts of investment. Last year it was about $310 billion. This year it's expected to cross $380 billion. But the vast amount of the world did not receive 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% of their economy. All of Africa, for example, received 3% of the 310 billion that was invested last year. This is why the payment guarantee mechanism and the insurance mechanism is aimed at enabling investment, and but not only in large projects, in small projects. We are talking of mini solar plants, we are talking of solar mini grids, we are talking of rooftop solar, we are talking of solar rooftops, solar cold storages, and so on. At the same time, we also want that there are internal, national organizations that can enable this money to be used. We want to identify startups. In the past year, we have identified 20 startups in Africa. We are working with them on bootstrapping camps to help build up their capabilities in terms of enabling them to receive monies, equity investments. We are to help them develop technological partnerships, to help them in brand imaging. We would like some of these 20 to become the Amazons of tomorrow, providing solar products and services in Africa. And most of all, we are also focusing on the next challenge in solar, which is to use hydrogen as a carbon-free fuel where you can't use electricity. Green hydrogen is important for us, and we are therefore looking at sharing information that countries of the world are doing on hydrogen, providing the training that is needed for green hydrogen, trained professionals to come into the market, and for matchmaking of developers of green hydrogen with the suppliers of finance for green hydrogen. These are the kinds of issues that are there on the assembly as we meet now. But without further ado, let me introduce the president of the International Solar Alliance and then the co-president, who are the ministers respectively from India and France respectively. And then I would request all the other ministers to briefly, for a minute or two, talk about their views on solar and how the Solar Alliance can help them. And we then look forward to your questions as well. Sir.
Friends for the media. The International Solar Alliance has emerged as a force for the good in this world. As the Director General informed me, we in fact already have 120 member countries. And there are also a number of member countries who have signed, but who still have to ratify. So they will ratify it and become member countries. We have a large number of partner organizations. Most multilateral development banks are our partner organizations. So this emerged as a huge organization. And it has started delivering. Today, at the start of the assembly, we dedicated 4 projects which had come up in 4 different countries. Before this, we have completed 7 projects which have been dedicated. We will be completing about 12 projects again by December. So this the organization has started developing. To discuss how we can replicate what we have done in India in other countries, the regulatory mechanism, the techno-regulatory framework which we have put in place, which has enabled investments to come in India. We'll share that experience with all the countries so that a similar techno-regulatory framework, etc., can be replicated along with dispute resolution mechanisms and payment security mechanisms so that private investments can come. Because without private investments, by public investments alone, we cannot ensure universal access to electricity, because no country has enough money to set up all the capacity which it needs. Private sector investment is essential. And we need to de-risk investment so that private investments can come. For de-risking that investment, the International Solar Alliance has set up a fund which will de-risk investments in these countries, in the developing countries. So that fund has components, as the Director General told you. It has an insurance component. So that insurance component ensures the project which is set up. It has a payment security mechanism component. So that whenever any generator generates electricity and supplies electricity, payment security is ensured. Now with these mechanisms, and also after putting putting these regulatory mechanisms in place, with these mechanisms we are certain that investments will start flowing into Africa, especially those countries which have problems of energy access to all the which we took. We also took decisions to strengthen the organization by adding more posts. And yet, yes, we also are of totally transparent organizations. All appointments are totally transparent by all member countries, etc. So we decided to strengthen the organization further. We'll have further deliberations in the afternoon. And we are moving forward. The Transnational Alliance has emerged as a force, which will help the energy transition and energy access. Thank you.
I'd like to say that it was an honor to open and co-chair the 6th Assembly of the International Solar Alliance by your side. I want to thank India for taking the lead on the global call for renewables and especially for solar power. And Minister, we are thankful for your G20 presidency, which showed the adoption of a common goal to triple renewable energy capacity by 2030. Thank you very much. This is an ambition project, and we are happy that your presidency achieved this goal. And we are going to push with you this goal together at COP28 in Dubai in a few weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, the solar revolution is already underway, and the creation of this alliance at COP21 in Paris in 2015, the initial challenge was different. The initial challenge was to lower the cost of solar and to stimulate investment. Today, solar has won this battle. Solar is cheaper than any fossil fuel alternative, and investments have increased massively. $1 billion per day is being spent on solar investments. So solar and renewable energy have also won a more political battle, if I can say, the narrative, because with the climate disaster that are more and more frequent, with the consequences of Russia's aggression against Ukraine, with the current situation in the Middle East, all of us realize that solar and the renewable energy sources are key building blocks of energy sovereignty, industrialization, and of course, global geopolitical stability. During the state visit of Prime Minister Modi in Paris in July, energy security was one of the main pillars of the Indo-French Partnership for the Planet that we launched. So you understand that the question of energy is key. So, regarding the solar energy, the question now is not anymore if solar will boom, we know this, but the next step is how and to the benefit of whom. And that is when the International Solar Alliance comes into play. As the Minister said, we are 116 member countries. We join forces to make sure that this solar revolution equally benefits all countries and all population.
And very much commend the leadership of ISA for this very important forum, and also it's not just a forum but very interactive and beneficial to most of us. My name is Edgar Moyo, and I'm the Energy and Power Development Minister from Zimbabwe. In our energy mix in Zimbabwe, solar contributes the lowest, and therefore that presents an opportunity for investment in that field. Coupled with our power supply and demand deficit, that presents any investor who so wishes to come and invest in the country.
First of all, it's my name, Minister of State for Energy in Uganda government. While solar energy is versatile, it's everywhere in Uganda. There are two major challenges that we face. One, increasing access to energy. To be able to do this, there are again two major things that we must address. One, technology to harness solar energy that is versatile in our country. We need to address the technology applications for harnessing solar energy. The second aspect is financing. As the President rightly said, we need to address, through innovative finances, the development of solar energy in our country, to especially reach those hard areas and the poor population of our country.
It's my first visit to India and also my first time I attended an ISA meeting. I take this opportunity to thank ISA. I'm the Minister of Agriculture, Climate and Environment in Seychelles. I take this opportunity to thank ISA for their support and the government of India also for recently supporting us in establishing a cold storage solution in Seychelles, a solar cold store, which would support the local farmers in marketing their produce. For Seychelles, solar represents the most promising source of renewable energy, given our geographic conditions, especially the fact that we are on the equator and wind is not always reliable, and we don't have any other significant renewable energy source. So for us, our energy transition will depend a lot on solar, and I think a lot has been done on the ISA. We look forward to working with the organization and also partners within this network to actually come up with utility scale projects, but also other projects for the domestic and also the commercial sector that would help them in cutting down their emission and their energy use. So for us, it is a pleasure, for me it is a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate the work that's been done by ISA, and I hope that we continue on those lines with those practical and really meaningful projects that can change things at the local level for all different countries involved. So thank you once again.
It's a pleasant afternoon to everyone. I know many of you will be thinking, oh my God, what is this young lady doing up here? She's so young, and most importantly, she's a young woman. My name is Karen James, and I am the Minister for Climate Resilience, Environment and Renewable Energy in Grenada. And I would like to start off by saying how privileged I am to be here to represent not only the country as a member country of the ISA, but as a young woman. I believe that our commitments and our input in this whole climate environment, and when we speak about the energy transition and the energy sector, has been underrated for so long. And I am happy to be sitting here to be voices of not only those in my country and in the Caribbean, but for young women and young men too around the world. So I thank ISA for inviting us and for being here. As a small island developing state in the Caribbean, Grenada recognizes the urgency and the need for us to transition to a more sustainable and climate resilient future. And our participation here in this assembly speaks volumes to that. Now, we are a tri-island state in the Eastern Caribbean. We comprise of mainland Grenada, and Carriacou and PT Martinique. We have a population of 124,000 and a peak electricity demand of 33 megawatts. So we are very small. For us, we want to prioritize a just energy transition in our country. We want to ensure that when we speak of that transition, we take into consideration the softer side of it. I've been going to so many meetings, attending conferences around the world, and to be quite honest, I've not really heard us. How do we as small island developing states make our mark, express our voices in these forums to ensure that when we accomplish our ambitious targets for the just energy transition, that we do not exacerbate inequalities that already exist in our countries.
Dr. Mathur, Ramesh from Business Line. The 6-7 years of your existence, ISA's existence, can you tell us how much of solar capacity has ISA cost to be put up in the member countries?
We have caused approximately 1 gigawatt to be put up, and there is 9.5 gigawatts which is under preparation.
Take a mic, take a mic.
They're not giving me the mic. Sorry. So I've been covering the ISA for many years now. So everybody here is excited.
Which newspaper?
Sir, I work for a newspaper, Hummer. It's an English daily. It's an English daily, Hummer. Yeah, so I've been working with different newspapers. So my question is, when people from Uganda and Grenada and all these people over here, they're excited, they say sun is the goddess gift, you know. So we are doing in the, when we can have like solar refrigerator. At the Pusa Institute, there was a solar refrigerator launched, which could take care of the cold storage, like the gentleman expressed. So what is the situation there, sir?
In fact, one of the projects which was dedicated today, inaugurated today, was that solar cold storage. That cold storage keeps the temperature at 4 degrees centigrade, from 4 degrees to about 10 or 11 degrees centigrade. And that was inaugurated today. This is also part of it. Solar irrigation is a part of it. And of course, for a solar cold chain for vaccines is a part of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I just pitch in?
Is Abdul? Yeah. Is Roop Singh? Good afternoon, friends. This is Sanjai Agarwal. I'm at the International Solar Alliance. So we just had the president of the ISA and the member countries are here. He's from the Republic of Malwa, and he has made his presentation today after the president. So we want you to speak in your local language first, wishing your countrymen, and then you can talk in English about what exactly you understand, today, sir.
Dzina langa ndine Ibrahimu Matola, ndine nduna yang'ana mphamvu za magetsi ndi mafuta kuchokera ku dziko la Malawi. Ine ndithokoze State President Dr. Lazarus Makatha Chakwera pondisankha ine kukhala nduna yawo, komanso kuti masomphenya awo ndapitise patsogolo monga ngati nkhani za mphamvu za magetsi. Izizi zimene takambirana kuno, ndithokoze bungwe la International Solar Alliance otipasa mwayi oti tikhale nawo pa mkumano umenewu ndikumayang'ana kusanthula zoti tingathandize mayiko athu. Monga ngati ku Malawi, International Solar Alliance atithandiza poti tikhale ndi mphamvu za magetsi kuchokera ku solar kudzuwa pa parking ya ku Parliament phase 1. Phase 2 ndi zimene tipite patsogolo ndikupanga Parliament yonse kuti ikhale ndi mphamvu za magetsi. Izizi ndikuthokoza kwa State President athu komanso ndi President ya International Solar Alliance for tipasa mwayi kuti tikhale mkumano umenewu wa mayiko osiyanasiyana. Let me thank first and foremost the International Solar Alliance presidency and the entire assembly
for giving us his country, Malawi. My name is Ibrahim Matola, Minister of Energy from Malawi. Malawi falls under southern part of Africa, bordering Tanzania in the north and the east, bordering with the Mozambique, and in the west, bordering Zambia. It is a land-linked country. However, the issues of electricity, Africa very soon will be exporting power to the Europe because we have the existing structures which we call the power pool. Malawi is connected to Southern Africa power pool where Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and South Africa, and we'll be exporting into Tanzania because we have signed a few months ago the agreement between Malawi and Tanzania. So Tanzania is already in the Eastern Africa, and the Eastern Africa power pool, it goes up to Ethiopia, and then Ethiopia, it will be feeding in the northern Africa, where there is Egypt, Sudan, and Algeria. And on the other side, Tanzania will be feeding into DRC Congo, and Congo will be feeding into Congo Brazzaville, and then it goes on and on to Togo, Mali, Ghana, Nigeria, and then up to Morocco. Then Morocco is feeding already into Italy. So Africa will be trading in power, and very soon. But what we need is that first and foremost, when you look at China, because some people were asking about China, when you look at China 40 years ago, China was like Malawi. But because they invested a lot in technology, we are spending 30%, 40% in energy generation. The way we do in agriculture, the way we do in education, we spend a certain percentage because of the declarations which are made there. And I would like to see ourselves in the future sessions of International Solar Alliance, we make commitments as member states of putting aside our national budget in order to promote the solar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a warm stay in India, sir.
Thank you very much. And it was nice meeting you.
Yes, sir. Same, sir.
इसी के साथ मैं रूप सिंह गुसाई आप सभी से अनुमति चाहूंगा। जल्द मिलूंगा, तब तक आप अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा। नमस्कार, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद, जय भारत। और हाँ, सोलर ऊर्जा के लिए जो भारत के बढ़ते कदम हैं, इसको लेकर के आपके क्या हैं सुझाव, क्या है विचार, हमारे साथ जरूर साझा कीजिएगा। और आपने अगर हमारे चैनल ANC इंडिया को अब तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो मैं चाहूँगा कि आप ANC इंडिया को अभी सब्सक्राइब कर ले, ताकि हमारी कोई भी खबर आपसे ना छूटे। जो भी हमारे नए अपडेट्स हों वो सबसे पहले आपको मिलते रहे। थैंक यू सो मच।